I just have always believed that an hour gives you a great opportunity to get to know someone. You can't just expect that someone is going to walk into the room and you're going to have, this structured plan that's going to fit their learning needs. Each person is different. Each person has their own pace of learning. And what's most important is to realize that music is a personal thing. I become a huge part of a person's life without the intent of being that person. I honestly, when I first started teaching, I thought that kids were going to come in and they were going to ask me to teach them Van Halen licks or something. And it couldn't have been farther from that. People come in, often they want to talk to you, and and they need somebody to show belief in them. It's a very involved thing, and a half-hour experience just would never be enough for me, because I'm trying to do the same thing for another person that I do for myself. It's not ever just about learning a song, but the song serves as a vehicle for so many things. It's technical ability, it's a great rhythmic experience, because rhythm is the number one thing. It's something that is enjoyable for the student, especially if they are, really engaged by the song they're learning. It's a confidence builder. All of that stuff is super important, and then the most important factor after that is to help them to use that information for their own purposes and learn to be creative. Real practice is spent where you have some sort of end result in mind, and you're seeing that, well, something's not working, and so you have to figure out how to better that. And that's where my job comes in, because I have to make them aware of it, and then I have to show them how to fix it, and then I have to try to motivate them to actually work on that and make that an important thing. That's why I take as much time with the parents as I do with the kids, and if it's an adult that I'm working with, I'm spending time talking to them even as we're walking out. Listen, a lot of folks learn the bulk of things that they pick up right in the room. It has to become something that, again, is a personal desire. I have to try to motivate them to do that. I have to try to help them to see what can be. I have to try to engage what they see in their mind's eye and support that effort to the point where they're driven to try to achieve what they see. Just having conversations with folks and finding out various insecurities and things that are hindering them from wanting to push forward. There's always been a misconception that because there are more advanced things happening in my room sometimes, that I'm not interested in teaching beginners. And the fact is that I relish teaching a beginner, because often I get people that are in, let's say, intermediate stages of their playing, and they've developed habits that are actually limitations. And so by working with a beginner, you can help them to develop habits that will give them more options. The whole idea behind the things that I show, it's all based on my own experience and my own failures. And I've learned to do things basically by discovering that I was holding myself back, in the ways that I was playing certain things. And so I try to offer it as a suggestion more than saying this is the only way to do something. But when you're working with a beginner, you have an opportunity to really develop their technique a bit from the beginning, to start a real foundation, a real core of style and knowledge. Basically what happens is when a beginner comes in, I'm going to show them the basic chords. There's 5 basic chords, E, A, D, G, and C. And then immediately I'm going to try to get them playing, 3 or 4 of those chords in time. And often I'll teach them a song that like a Beatles song or an AC/DC song, something that features those open chords in with a sense of rhythm, because the whole thing comes down to learning in rhythm. That accomplishment sets us up for all kinds of success, because I can immediately show them songs that are within their grasp, and I can immediately engage their imagination and start showing them things that are possible because they're playing something. That's the biggest part of it. And then, of course, you know, it's got to be fun.